Well, the country's top federal prosecutor reiterated today that the Justice Department will, in fact, be investigating the crime as a hate crime. And the big question that comes along with a potential federal case is whether the death penalty could be a part of it. 20 News Side's Ron Plants looked into that today.
With the suspect back in court Thursday, we learned a grand jury already voted for an as-yet still sealed indictment against him, even as he's being held without bail on a single state count of first-degree murder. On conviction, that carries a life in prison without parole sentence. But there might be more coming from federal prosecutors, according to former U.S. Attorney Terrance Flynn.
Normally, the U.S. Attorney and the DA and the investigators from both of their offices would be talking and getting an idea what the district attorney is doing currently. And then at the same time, the U.S. Attorney's Office with the Department of Justice is looking at those facts and whether there are other charges that would be appropriate.
The U.S. Justice Department announced the night of the shooting their hate crime investigation with racially motivated violent extremism and involvement by the FBI and ATF. Current U.S. Attorney Trini Ross added,
"The U.S. Attorney's Office is actively engaged in this investigation. We will continue to be, and we'll continue to work with our law enforcement partners."
While the state of New York abolished the death penalty in 2004, capital punishment is still a federal court option, depending on potential charges.
And they'll look at the statute and see if it's possibly a statute that is a death penalty eligible statute.
While there is a moratorium on federal executions in the Biden administration, could the president's visit signal any consideration? Mixed views. Defense attorney Barry Covert has handled death penalty cases at both levels.
But there will certainly be a lot of pressure on the Biden administration to seek the death penalty certification to allow the jury to decide whether he should face the death penalty for these heinous crimes.
The time when I had it, there are people in the community that had opinions, no surprise, some politicians do, but it stays at that point. They know better than to interfere, and the Department of Justice wouldn't allow it. They wouldn't allow someone to interfere in such a serious process.
Flynn says there are extensive reviews by the U.S. Justice Department extending up to Washington before we'd actually see a death penalty case. Covert says the defense gets to weigh in with mental health issues and even the age of the suspect, which could be a factor here. Coming up at 6, some notorious examples, even with another Western New York tie you may remember. Ron Plants, Channel 2 News.